Captain Bruno Fernandes pointed towards Manchester United's continued struggles in attack for their latest defeat and admitted everyone is aware that they are short of goals. Head coach Ruben Amorim named a starting 11 without a recognised centre-forward as his side succumbed to a 7th home defeat of a horror season against Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace. Jean-Philippe Mateta put Palace in front shortly after the hour mark before the French striker added a second late on. But United were bereft of quality in the final third throughout, and Fernandes pulled no punches with his assessment as they drew a blank. Fernandes spoke to MUTV after the game and said, "We spoke after the games we won. We said everything we did in the past would be forgotten if we don't win the next one, and that's the case today. We need points in the Premier League. Everyone is aware of that. It's a different competition, and we need to win. But unfortunately today, we didn't get the 3 points. We lacked a little bit of aggression to get into the final third, and lacked something to score goals. With the players we have in front, we need to have more goals and create more, take players on, and get chances from that. We did have some chances, but we didn't have as many as we should have. You build with results, and when you win games, you get more confidence. We won the last 3 games, and everyone was confident, so for us now, it's a setback, and we need to understand that we're doing some good things, and even today, we showed some good things. The result doesn't show that, but we can still achieve a lot doing the things we've been doing." United unveiled new signing Patrick Dorgu, along with Aiden Heaven, before kick-off. The Denmark defender, 20, has joined from Lecce in a £30 million deal, signing a 5-year contract. But they are linking up with a side sitting a dismal 13th in the Premier League table. Meanwhile, Marcus Rashford is set to complete a loan move to Aston Villa before Monday night's transfer deadline, with the England international not part of Amorim's plans. Matheus Cunha has been described as a perfect signing for Manchester United, despite only just signing a new contract with Wolves until 2029. The Brazil international has been a constant shining light for the club, who've been entrenched in a relegation battle all season. With 11 Premier League goals to his name in the 2024-25 campaign, Cunha bagged his latest in an impressive 2-0 win over Aston Villa on Saturday evening. After putting the ball past Emiliano Martinez in the 97th minute, the 25-year-old kissed the badge on his shirt and made a signing gesture with his hands, suggesting he had finally committed his future to the West Midlands side, after much speculation over whether he'd move on or agree fresh terms. While his new contract, which he was said to have signed before leaving Molineux Stadium after the game, ties him to the club for another 5 years, it's understood that it contains a relegation release clause and a minimum fee buyout clause. The forward's impressive performances has seen him subject to interest from Nottingham Forest, Arsenal and United. The idea of signing him, even after putting pen to paper, has been raised once again thanks to ex-Red Devil Michael Owen. The former England striker took to social media and called him the perfect signing for the Premier League giants, but did question if a potential transfer would even be financially viable. He wrote on X, "The financial rules and regs will probably prevent it from being a possibility, but Cunha would be the perfect signing at Manchester United. He's seriously good, and would fit perfectly into their new system." After being reminded that Cunha had just signed a new long-term contract, Owen doubled down on his take, adding, "Yes, that's the one. Reckon he'll see out his contract? Reckon there's no buyout? He was tied in for the foreseeable future anyway. May as well double his money in the meantime and still be in the same position if a big opportunity arises." Cunha would certainly be a welcome addition to a United team desperate for goals, with Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, who both didn't start in United's 2-0 home loss to Crystal Palace on Sunday, seriously lacking in front of goal. After their latest defeat at Old Trafford, Amorim admitted he knows what the team needs to improve amid their chase for Bayern Munich's Matheus Cunha. "We are trying everything to improve the team without making the mistakes of the past, and also trying to balance the urgency of the moment," the 40-year-old said. "We know all of the aspects of our club in the moment, but we are trying everything. This market is really hard on clubs to make some deals. I want to improve the team so badly. I know what the team needs. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not. When the window closes, we will see the players that we have." Manchester United looks set to improve Ruben Amorim's squad by the time the January transfer window closes on Monday night at 11 p.m. At least one player will arrive at Old Trafford, but there remains some problems. Patrick Dorgu is expected to bolster United's wing-back options after weeks of negotiations. There is also interest in Bayern Munich striker Matheus Cunha, but a number of clubs are keen on him. The tough task of turning their Premier League season around, partnered with their Europa League campaign, means the Red Devils are set for a hectic second half of the season. Despite the inactivity at Old Trafford, United could oversee a flurry of business in the final window, but there remain question marks over the quality in Amorim's side. A new left-back has seemed to be the priority throughout the window, with a number of profiles identified. Dorgu seems to be the man United want, but Alvaro Fernandes' situation is one to watch in the future. After leaving the club in the summer, the Spaniard has come on leaps and bounds for Benfica. United's buyback clause means the deal made sense, even more sense when you consider the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona are both reportedly eyeing him up as well. Further up the field, and United don't look likely to add to Amorim's firepower in attack. Victor Gyökeres had been a name consistently linked with a move to Old Trafford to seal a reunion with Amorim, but it's more likely to happen in the summer. However, the Sweden international's arrival this month would have significantly improved United. There's no question mark about that with Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee struggling. Antony has already left the club to play football in Spain with Real Betis, and there is a real possibility that others will follow suit. Rashford's situation is one to keep an eye on, with Aston Villa reportedly joining the list of clubs keen to loan him. His wages are thought to be a problem, but he's not part of Amorim's plans. In an alternative transfer window, United would have solved the situation earlier in the window and Rashford would be reviving his career elsewhere. Another player who should have been offloaded this month is Casemiro. The midfielder hasn't featured under Amorim this month and he looks set for a long period on the bench. Loans for Tyrell Malacia and Victor Lindelof are two deals that make sense also. Both players have struggled with injuries this season, and United's financial limitations would have been bolstered by their departures. Paul Pogba has hit the headlines again after his recent social media activity caused tongues to wag over a potential return to Manchester United. The Frenchman is unable to play until March after testing positive for the banned substance DHEA. Pogba left Juventus in November, just over 2 years after departing Old Trafford for the second time in June 2022. And any thoughts of signing him for a third time, even on a free transfer, would be disastrous for United on so many levels. Firstly, now aged 31 and past his prime, there would be serious doubts over his ability to compete at the highest level. United need more players who are fit enough to cover in midfield, with the Reds' glaring physical weaknesses being exposed in a seemingly endless amount of games this season. Most Premier League teams are fitter than Ruben Amorim's side, with the 3-1 defeat to Brighton a perfect example of this. Pogba would take time to get back up to speed, having not played a competitive game since September 3rd, 2023, for Juventus against Empoli. Waiting for him to get there is a luxury United cannot afford to have right now. There is also his Galactico status, something United should be looking to avoid after going down that damaging route under Ed Woodward. Pogba, along with several other big money deals, have arguably helped to put the Reds in their current PSR position of needing to sell to buy. Ineos have promised big changes to the first team at M16, but what message would it send if they signed a big name like Pogba? Even if his wages were not too high, it would still show the club has not learnt from previous mistakes. No one can deny Pogba's ability. France's 2018 World Cup win saw him play a starring role alongside Kylian Mbappe. But what would he bring a team in 2025? The negatives far outweigh the positives, and United must not get swept up by any clamours to bring him back under any circumstances.